We've gone through the discover phase. We've implemented some AI wizardry, and the user is now aware of the brand. So how can we utilize AI to take that awareness and translate it into meaningful engagement and nurturing? Once a user knows their need, they start then to compare options. So the goal here at this stage is to move from being visible in search to being the preferred option, the chosen one, you might say. There's lots of AI tools that can help growth here. But I think something that's really key that's often overlooked is the prompting. So we wanted to just look quickly at 4 things or 4 ways that you can prompt an AI tool. So first and foremost, we need to be paying real close attention to what we're feeding into ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Anybody can generate a basic product description based on an image and a few lines of text. But we need to be smarter than that. We need to create descriptions that are meeting user intent. So when it starts looking at kind of your core prompt, this sets the role of the AI tool. So it forms the scope of work, and it is all kind of that basic stuff. For example, you are an e-commerce copywriter. Create me a product description in the following format: product headline, short paragraph, bullet list of 4 to 6 key features, and a short closing line. Use a confident but personable tone suitable for a luxury home decor brand. That's the core prompt. And I think a lot of people stop there, but let's not do that. Let's include more information. Let's talk about the name of the product, the price, the type of product, the category that it belongs to, a seed description, the target market that we're looking at with this product. Let's feed in technical information. Let's upload PDFs for manuals and tech specs to support that product description. And let's feed in our keywords that we want to rank for on that product. You know, including those priority keywords for SEO is only going to help to optimize that content. And of course, it will still need human eyes and a human touch. But including all that will really help to output a more optimized and personalized product description. If that sounds a bit much though, we have worked closely with clients to build out custom GPTs that kind of do all that for you. Joseph, do you want to talk a little bit more about how we've done that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'd have to ask somebody like Christian or Mark on how these things work under the bonnet and the technology behind it all. But as a user, as somebody that can come in and really simplify everything that you've just described there, Lewis, by using a custom GPT such as the one you're screen sharing at the moment. This one is for product descriptions particularly. How this works basically is that you have a content bucket behind the scenes. You describe there information that can be fed into that content bucket. So it could be, for example, the brand guidelines. It could be your ideal customer profile and descriptions around that ideal customer profile, your main competitors, your marketing strategy. All of this can feed the product description information that's being presented and being generated by these custom GPTs. And they're so simple to use as well. In this example Christian's built, you're prompted with a question. So it's a step-by-step process where you answer the questions. The information and the product description that's provided takes into consideration all of that background research, all of that background information, and gives you the very best product description available.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Joseph, you can refine these. So if you start using them and you think actually it's missing something or the output isn't quite as strong as what it can be, you can refine the engine of it effectively to improve your productivity and improve the quality of the output further.
It's so clever, isn't it? If you're interested in a demo, though, we can organise that. We'd be happy to set up a call with you after the webinar and kind of go through how these custom GPTs work and how they might work for your business. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at consideration stage is comparisons. So in this phase of the journey, users are educating themselves to figure out which product is going to be best for them. So you'll be seeing more and more of these comparison style tables showing up in AI overviews and your ChatGPT searches. So if you're not addressing these comparisons yourself, AI might be doing it for you. And it's really important that we're feeding the tools the right information to ensure that your product or the preferred product is coming out on top. It's not just a case of comparing your product versus a competitor's product, but it's also taking into account comparing the differences between your products so that we're not only helping to support the user experience and make that customer journey a really seamless one, but we're also feeding the AI tools all the right information so that it can display adequately.
I think that's really important, Lois. Sorry to jump in. It's a little bit like that LLM text file I showed it in the
exactly
phase. You can just leave AI tools to kind of do the hard work and make an assumption or an understanding of your brand. But it's things like this where if you create this content and you then give it access through that LLM text file, it gives AI tools more of a steer, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely be getting to work on those comparison tables and have a look at your competitors and see who they're comparing themselves against, because that will give you a really good steer. Next up, we wanted to talk about media production. Joseph, do you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Thanks, Lois. Yeah, I think this is a really exciting development. Often for an SME, it's really quite challenging to produce the quality of creative that's needed and that's expected by somebody that's visiting your e-commerce website. But using tools like Kling AI and Polo AI no longer really need to have a photo shoot set up for every single product and every single scenario. And if we just move on to the next slide, there's a really nice example here. So you can see the prompt there. I'm not going to read that out, it's on screen, but the principle behind this is that we have this soundbar as a cutout image. If that was the only image that you had, it's not very enticing. It's not going to encourage somebody to add that product to cart. What you want to do is attract to the right sort of person by putting that product into a situation that they recognize. So the image that's shown here into a modern apartment, again, it just takes a user further down that journey and entices them more to add that product to cart. And so you've got the option here with AI. You could put this image into multiple different scenarios. You could put it into a barn conversion, a country home, a town home. You get the principle. It's there to help you put your product into various situations without going to the expense of a professional photographer and setting that studio up across each of those various positions. But that takes things one step further with image generation. I think you'd agree the quality is now exceptional. But even beyond that, video creation. And video creation is, if we just move on to the next slide.
I was just going to quickly add to that, Joseph. Like one of the e-commerce brands we're working with are keen to expand to the US, and we've been adapting their creative and their messaging to align to their US audience aside from their core UK audience. And this is a really powerful way that they could, as you said, Joseph, position their products that are predominantly for a UK audience, but position them with, say, a more US aligned backdrop to better speak to that new audience that they're expanding to.
Yeah, and it's not, that's a really good point, Christian. It's not just on site this imagery can be used. This imagery can be used throughout all of your ad campaigns as well. So say you've got a meta ad campaign and you're looking to attract a particular persona type, then you can create all of your imagery with that persona type in mind, and you're absolutely going to engage with that persona in a better way. So yeah, taking things on to the next stage is then video creation. So from a couple of still images here, we've got a loop video that's been put in place. I think it's quite interesting as well. We did a little bit of research on this and found a vast array of figures, didn't we? But the principle is there that if you put a video on a product landing page, your conversion rate is going to increase. We saw figures up to 86% increase in conversion rate. What we've seen across the brands that we work with, it's a minimum of 30% increase conversion rate when video is added into a product landing page. So I think this breaks down a lot of barriers in cost, in time, and the results now are of an excellent quality.